Today on the news, President Tinubu orders deployment of AI-enabled cameras in Plateau. Nigeria Chad Deepen Security Alliance vow intensified anti-terror fight. Plus, Independent National Electoral Commission rejects call for Professor Amopitan's resignation. Good afternoon. I am Ebere Ada. River State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Rstv. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. And this is the news at 3 today on Rstv. Management of River State Television has said the station is committed to promoting ease of doing business within River State and across Nigeria, particularly following the acquisition of its broadcast license that enabled nationwide transmission. Acting General Manager of Rstv, Ambassador Paul Dambo, made this known while receiving member of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission during a courtesy visit to the station. Emmanuel Emeono now reports.
The leader of the delegation, Uche Buchukuma, stated that the visit was aimed at familiarizing with Rstv following his assumption of office as zonal coordinator, noting that the team also sought to establish a partnership with the station to amplify its consumer advocacy campaign themed Consumer is King. According to him, the campaign forms part of activities marking this year's World Consumer Rights Day with the theme Safe Products, Confident Consumer, explaining that the initiative is designed to enlighten residents of South region and equip consumers with the knowledge needed to make informed decisions. Chukuma emphasized the importance of consumer awareness, as individuals should be familiar with consumer protection laws and understand key indicators to look out for when purchasing products. He said this knowledge empowers consumers and reinforces their rights in the marketplace.
Our central work is to protect that consumer for which the product is produced. What we are here is that you give out a lot of information. You are like a vehicle through which messages get to the people. But we are doing a lot, and government have set us up. It's a free service to the people, but the people don't know that they have this free service. So how can we put it out there? That's why I'm here today, sir.
In his response, Acting General Manager of River State Television, Ambassador Paul Dambo, highlighted the station's recent achievements in programming and rebranding and reaffirmed Rstev's openness to partnership that supports public enlightenment and economic growth. He stressed that service providers must recognize that consumers have choices and should adopt the right approach in delivering products and services that will attract greater patronage, because quality service remains essential in capturing and retaining consumer attention. Ambassador Dambo commended the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission for its efforts in safeguarding public health and consumer rights, and pledged the station's support in disseminating the message to every nook and cranny of the state.
I want to assure you that their campaign and their advocacy is going to be given wider publicity. A few days ago, they handed over our national license that guarantees us to be on to transmit nationally, so beyond the state. So Rstv is set to discharge its responsibility in a professional manner that will meet up the standard in modern broadcasting. So I want to thank all of you for coming, and I want to assure you that we are open to business. We're ready to partner with you in terms of production of jingle. If you have jingle that has to do with the public enlightenment and the safety and rights, like some of the things that the leader said, you just bring it, because people need to know. And I'm sure by the time people keep seeing it, and they are even the consumers will now be emboldened to demand for their rights.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is an agency of the federal government mandated to protect and promote the interests of Nigerian consumers. Emmanuel Emenyon, Rstv News.
Omega Power Ministries OPM Worldwide celebrated children born with autism and Down syndrome as part of activities marking this year's World Autism and Down Syndrome Day. The event, which took place at OPM Church GRA in Port Harcourt, witnessed the newly wedded autistic Aboy Chibuzo and his wife as special guests. Oboka Umida tells us more.
World Autism and Down Syndrome Day, celebrated on April 2 every year, focuses on inclusion and support for individuals with the syndrome. Speaking at the event, General Overseer of Omega Power Ministries, OPM Worldwide, King Apostle Chibuzo Chinyere, described this year's theme, Together Against Loneliness, as apt, stressing that the marriage the church organized for one of the persons with special needs, Mr. Aboy Chibuzo, and his beautiful wife was in line with the theme and biblical principles of marriage. Apostle Chinyere said, though the marriage was greeted with reactions, he developed a thick skin and informed that if another opportunity presents itself, he will organize another one, as the essence is to make these persons with special needs to be valued and live like normal people, irrespective of the challenges, as given life a meaning is his watchword. The man of God, who kicked against stigmatization of persons born with autism and Down syndrome, called for concerted efforts by government and spirited individuals to make life more meaningful for these persons. He said this is the 6th year of OPM running a free school for children born with autism and Down syndrome, a capital-intensive project. Apostle Chibuzo Chinyere informed that a branch will soon be established in Lagos, in addition to the 42 free schools the church maintains, devoid of tribe, religion, and race.
In order to stop this discrimination, we decided to put the OPM free school in one side and also the autism school in the same compound, so that during break all the children will mix together and play. From there they will no longer discriminate against them. They are getting healing. We got somebody from Uniport, it's physiotherapy that normally massage their legs. So some of them that couldn't move before are moving. Some of them that couldn't speak are speaking. Some of them that couldn't hold things like this, they had to like this, and now doing like this.
Presentations such as spelling bee, games, and beauty pageant showed that the church carefully employed professionals to groom the children and nurture them to stardom. Dr. Maureen Chuku is the OPM Director of Welfare, while Mr. Ido Francis is the school principal, and they advised that the society should continue to build a school where children are empowered to shine. They said autistic children should be valued and empowered. They also used the opportunity to thank the General Overseer of OPM, King Apostle Chibuzo Gift Chinyere, for spending a fortune just for children with special needs.
Together, we can make a difference. OPM School of Children born with autism and Down syndrome. This school is already 6 years. 6 years, but not just 6 years in number, but 6 years that have made an impact.
The autism team says that the life has value. The value we have for their life is what makes us provide school for them. OPM Trade Center for learning and handwork. Our trade center takes care of this.
The OPM General Overseer later gifted the children with iPad and talking books, also known as phonetics, an educational material donated by his business partner from China. Some of the elated children in an interview reacted this way.
I feel happy, I love, care, and support because of our daddy.
Amen.
Oboka Umida, Rstv News.
President Bola Tinubu has ordered an aggressive security overhaul anchored on the deployment of over 5,000 artificial intelligence-enabled surveillance cameras across Plateau State. President Tinubu, who made this known at the Yakubu Gowon Airport venue in Jos, before grieving residents, families of victims, traditional rulers, community and religious leaders, as well as government officials, reiterated that the March 29 killings in Angwan Rukuba Jos North local government area would not be repeated. The president's visit came amid heightened tension following the attack, with death toll given as 29 by Governor Caleb Mutswang. The president said the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Bosho Tijani, would coordinate the installation of the cameras in partnership with security agencies and Plateau State government. President Tinubu also issued a direct order to top security chiefs, charging them to bring the perpetrators to justice without delay. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to deepening security cooperation with neighboring Chad. President Tinubu made the declaration when he received his Chadian counterpart, Mahamat Idris Deby, at the State House, Abuja. President Tinubu described the visit as timely and said it offered an opportunity to reinforce bilateral ties and strengthen collaboration in addressing insecurity affecting countries within the region. The president stressed that Nigeria and Chad shared a collective responsibility to secure their borders and protect their citizens, underscoring the importance of sustained cooperation among neighboring states in achieving lasting peace. President Tinubu also highlighted the long-standing relationship between both nations, noting that they are building on the legacy of past leaders to promote stability, economic growth, and regional development. River State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to. You can watch our news live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at RSTVPH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. And now up ahead on the news, 16 Kenyans missing in Russia after army recruitment. And in sports, Super Eagles to play friendlies with Poland and Portugal in June. These and more will come when we return from the break. Stay with us.
Government under the administration of His Excellency Sir Siminalayi Fubara JSSRS, Governor of River State, hereby invites applications from suitably qualified individuals with passion for classroom teaching for recruitment as teachers into public primary and secondary schools in the state. Applicants must possess a minimum of Nigerian Certificate in Education (NCE) for primary school teachers and bachelor's degree in education or postgraduate diploma in education with a first degree in any teaching subject for secondary school teachers. For further information, please check The Guardian, The Nation, National Network, The Tide, Independent Monitor, People's Herald, the gist newspapers of Thursday, 2nd April 2026, and the Ministry of Information website at www.moic.rov.gov.ng. This is signed by Professor Mrs. Ngozi Odu, JSSRS, Deputy Governor, River State, and Chairman, Teachers Recruitment Committee.
River State Television, the treasured station.
From the creeks of the capital, we tell the stories.
My name is Gospel Anele, reporting for River State Television.
Areas of agriculture, education, infrastructure.
And the people who are concerned are actually calling for government intervention.
Stakeholders believe state police could alleviate the burden of federal police.
From River State to the world, we keep you connected.
Stories gathered, facts verified, truth delivered.
At Rstv, not only do we offer you authentic coverage, we offer the premium value, and our prices you can trust are fair and affordable.
Here in Rstv, our audience is our priority, our integrity, our pride.
Your stories told with truth and passion. That's River State Television. Stay with us.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
You're welcome back to the news at 3 on Rstv. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has dismissed calls for the resignation of its chairman, Professor Joash Amopitan's son, describing such demands as an attack on the body's constitutional independence. In a statement issued by INEC's Chief Press Secretary, Adedayo Oketola in Abuja, said recent public comments by political actors aligning bias against the chairman are unfounded. The remarks followed INEC's decision to comply with a recent Court of Appeal ruling to prevent a repeat of incidents in Zamfara and Plateau State, where elected officials were removed after the commission disobeyed court orders. The commission rejected allegations that it undermines the multi-party system, citing the recent recognition of new political parties, including the Democratic Leadership Alliance, Nigeria Democratic Congress, and National Democratic Party, bringing the total to 22 active parties, stressing that INEC remains a neutral regulator, not a participant in political competition. On the planned nationwide voter revalidation exercise, INEC said it will to be carried out across all local government areas and polling units, aims to verify voter status, address multiple registrations, and remove deceased voters from the register. INEC reiterated that its focus remains on preparing for upcoming off-cycle elections in Ekiti, June 26 and Osun, August 2026, warning against politicizing administrative decisions. The INEC statement comes after the African Democratic Congress, ADC, called for the immediate resignation of Chairman Professor Joash Amopitan, accusing the Commission of partisanship and undermining Nigeria's democracy. 16 Kenyans are missing in Russia after joining the country's army, while 47 others have returned home from the front lines in Ukraine. Kenya's Foreign Affairs Minister Musalia Mudavadi told Senate meeting that 38 others are currently in different Russian hospitals under restricted access. He added that the number of missing Kenyans had risen from 10 to 16 within the last 24 hours and that it remains unclear whether they are dead or alive. The minister also estimated that 165 Kenyans are actively involved in military operations, bringing the total number who have participated in the conflict in Ukraine to more than 250. Mudavadi said the total number could be higher, adding that 2 Kenyans are being held by Ukraine as prisoners of war. He said the recruits had signed contracts to serve either as logistic officers or in combat roles. The foreign minister noted that promises of lucrative compensation ranging from $11,500 to $23,000 upon joining, plus a monthly salary of up to $2,700, as well as the possibility of citizenship and a hefty gratuity upon contract completion, were a major motivation. And now in sports. 3-time African champions Nigeria are looking forward to a very exciting summer as they set for battles against Poland and FIFA World Cup bound Portugal during the FIFA window for friendly matches in June. NFF's FIFA match agent Jairo Passion on Eurodata Sports confirmed that the clash with Poland will take place at the PGE Narodowy Stadium in the country's capital, Warsaw, on June 3, while the clash with Portugal will take place in Portugal on June 10, with a venue to be announced in the coming days. The game against the Seleção das Quinas, name of the Portugal senior men team, will be the last game for the hosts before they fly to the far west to take part in this summer's FIFA World Cup finals, being jointly hosted by US, Canada, and Mexico. The most recent friendly match between Nigeria and Portugal on November 17, 2022, ended in tears for the Super Eagles. The former African champions were thrashed 4-0, with Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes scoring a brace in the first half. Reports say before the June friendlies, cup holders Super Eagles are also scheduled to defend their crown at this year's Unity Cup tournament in London, taking place May 26 to 30. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok and Instagram at RSTVPH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. And that is a wrap on the News at 3 today on RSTV. My name is Sebere Ainda. Thanks for being a part of it and have a beautiful day.